This is a Lamprobe. The Lamprobe has been in existence for probably 15, 18 years, something like that, maybe even a little longer. I've had mine for about 10, and I'm going to remove some things off in Fred's face right now that has bothered him for a long time. It is very quick. That's one thing I love about the Lamprobe. You don't pay me for time, you pay for technology. And so it goes very rapid. It does not leave scars, and it does not leave any after effects once the little tiny scabs come off. And I'll go over and explain that to Fred in a moment. Right now, what I'm going to do is turn the machine up to probably about 42, and that should pretty much take care of everything that Fred has on his face. So right before we started, I had put together witch hazel. Witch hazel is the saving grace in all of this. We use a lot of witch hazel. So we're going to have some of them, like when I take an age spot, I have to get it moist. Lamprobe works on high radio frequency and must have liquid to operate, okay? So we have to put some of them. I will not need to do that because they are already, like Melia is nothing but trapped dirt. It used to be a blackhead and the skin went over it, and they just keep growing because this is the largest lymphatic system in your body because of the shortness of the span. And so 24/7, that toxic highway never stops running. Once it has a spot under the skin, as it comes up, it goes, oh, there's one, and it's gone. The next one behind it said, no, there's one, and it's gone. So it takes a long time before you feel them. Then eventually you'll see them. And unless you get them out, they're going to just keep growing. They are non-harmful. Melia won't hurt you, but they're annoying, okay? So first I got to get my little foot step up here. Keep your eyes closed, Fred. This is a very bright. And Fred has decided that he wants me to take off anything I can find. Okay. This will be fun for me. So we're going to use, like here is the first one. All right, we're going to step on this. Whoop. Is that fuzz on there? No, I guess not. And we're just going to touch him. There you go, and that one's gone. This is, like I say, very, very quick. It does not, it's like a little tiny bee stinging you. After a few minutes, he will get annoyed with me doing this. You can see his face jump a little bit. But it's not excruciating, you know. And trust me, I've used this machine in places that would amaze you. On myself, because I got to know what it feels like. I cannot take off things off people if I don't know exactly what I'm telling them. So I take them off myself. It also will help me. He has a few little blackheads right there. I just touched them. They will just disappear by morning because I just melted them. So they won't turn into Amelia. It's good for ingrown hairs. It's good for skin tags, broken capillaries. A lot of people get broken capillaries in their face, and we just walk them out. The last one I'm going to do on Fred today will be his big one right here, because it'll take me a few seconds to get that one off. But he has a little Melia thing right there. See it, how it walks up? Now what is going to happen, the after effect for Fred is he's going to get little tiny pinprick scabs everywhere I touch, unless this will be a bigger scab, of course, because it's a bigger spot. It'll take about 3 to 5 days, depending on his age, depending on his healing ability. Everybody's a little bit different. I've had clients go as much as 8 days or something before the little scabs disappeared. But if you put witch hazel on it 3 or 4 times a day, just like this, just dab it. If you, or when, not if, when you take a shower, wash your hair or anything, you do not rub your face. You pat it dry and then put witch hazel back on it. Witch hazel is antifungal, antibacterial, anti-everything, you know. And it also won't dry the skin. There is only 14% alcohol in witch hazel. So we do not want you to use peroxide, and we definitely do not want you, this one's not going to feel good, Fred, because where it's at. Sorry about that. That
Nope.
one, that
Nope.
one you felt.
No problem.
And We don't want them to dry out, because then if they dry out, the scab could crack. If it cracks, of course it could bleed. If it bleeds, what happens? You could get a mark, and we don't want marks when we're done. You can't, like I say, use too much witch hazel. You put it on 10 times a day. It won't actually hurt you. Also, it's a great toner. Years ago, they went to all this fancy stuff and got, but it's good for cuts, bites, bruises, scratches, welts, rashes, sunburn. Witch hazel is the go-to in your medicine cabinet. You should always have some in the house. In fact, it was the first toner, I believe, that we had in this industry, what, 50, 55 years ago? Take a breath, Fred. Breathe.
How are you going to start anyway?
Well, the good news is if you didn't feel the start, you won't feel the finish, and I'm almost done.
Not a problem.
Now, let's look at your forehead for a minute. Let me see. You want this one here on your eye removed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can take that off just a second. That one we have to get liquid on because it is a little hematoma. And so this one, Fred, take a deep breath and hold it, okay? Because this is, you know, a little bit more intense, and it's in a hair follicle area, so that does smart. Okay, go ahead and breathe. Very good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to one more time tap around the edges of this, and then when it gets scab on it and goes away, it will be gone. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Got a couple melia here on the side of your nose, and these do not feel good. One thing I love about the Lamprobe, well, there are a lot of things I love about it, but it is, once I stop, when I take this off, there's no feeling left. I mean, it doesn't go on hurting and hurting, you know, like sometimes when you get other procedures done, they're hours afterwards, they're still biting you. No, Lamprobe is only when I'm touching you. When I'm done, you're done. And I like the fact that it does not draw blood, so we don't have to worry about that. And I'm working only in the epidermis. So that's why I'm not going to leave any, when the scab comes off, we won't have any marks left. The reason you get the scab is because now your body says, oh my God, you hurt him. And it'll send up your natural healing properties to protect you. That's why you get the scab on it. So once you get the scab, that means you are connected to a blood source. So then you have to take care of it by just washing your face like this 2 or 3 times a day. If possible, you should stay out of the sun for 24 hours. If not possible, then you must make sure to put sunscreen on. And as soon as you come in the house, you dab it off with witch hazel. Are you having fun yet, Fred?
When are you going to start? No, it's just like a little...
It's like a little sting, like a little bee.
Sting burn, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's over.
Yes,
just
it
like
is.
that.
It is over.
It's over as quick as it starts. Look at the results. I'm amazed. I've had that all my life. Gone.
Well, some of these things are... It also will do ingrown hairs. You know, like for guys that get an ingrown hair from a beard or something, we can tap it and open that hole back up so it can pop up out of there. We can do acne. We can do cherry angiomas. Those are little red things. You see some people have little red ones all over them. That's what they are. We just touch them and they disappear. So the machine can do an amazing amount of things for people very quickly without a lot of... I don't like this here. Okay. And I do a lot of work with keratosis. Keratosis is a buildup of skin. Like this is not developed into that yet, but if Fred left this for another couple of years, it'd start to build on itself. It becomes what's called keratosis. And then we're just going to, we scrape it off. He has had enough damage that I'm just going to scrape this all away in just a second, and it will be gone. So if you'll give me a moment, I want to grab some more witch hazel here. And then we will finish up with you, Mr. Fred.
Wonderful. Yeah, this is just little stings once in a while, and if people can handle that, they're good to go.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
No, really. I've done thousands of these now. I've had this thing almost 10 years. And in fact, he's got 2 of them right there. So as long as I'm here messing around.
Ding, they're gone.
So get them out of here. Okay. All right. Now, this is a little different to remove these than just poking, okay? So we're going to go sideways on this like this, and we're going to go straight across. I'm literally going to scrape his skin off. And this one is amazing. It's been here a long time. Now this one wants to bleed a little bit. And that does happen once in a while, very rarely. But now he's going to get a scab. When he scabs, and when it comes off, if he doesn't take it off early, this will just be gone like it never happened. And usually I tell my clients, if it starts to build on itself, then you need to come get it done, get it off. See that? And we just wipe it away like that. Now this one is a little bit, his skin is thinner here, and so we're not getting the same reaction with that one that we, and I don't want to go too deep because you see already one spot wants to bleed a little bit, and normally I don't do that, so. And it's because the skin is thin. Oh, there's a bunch, see? So, now because we did draw a little blood in this one little tiny section of this, I'm going to put a little Neosporin and a little round Band-Aid on there. And like I said, it's going to scab. You can take that off tonight before you go to bed, Fred. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Can you still see that? Okay. Now, let me get a little round Band-Aid. And a little Neosporin picture. Actually, I guess we're getting a square Band-Aid. Yeah, it already stopped doing everything, so we're good. Yeah. All right. This, put Neosporin on here, just a little bit. And this non-resistant. Band-Aid up here, I hope, without a lot of hassle. Get lucky. Okay. There you go, Mr. Fred.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, bye.
No, you're welcome. Skin looks great. You got a lot of nice shine in it. This glow that's in here will stay here for about 7 days all by itself. And then it's just going to disappear eventually, of course, but your skin will still look much healthier than it did when you started. You've got a nice glow in your skin, and it's very smooth because we took off all them dead layers. So yeah, we're in good shape.